Warning, warning. This is a global ice out. Testing the right speaker. Right. Testing the left speaker. Left. Sound successfully recovered. Swan Commander. Connected. And now, the countdown has begun. And now, are you ready for a journey that goes beyond the norms? The Federal Prospects Hockey League just celebrated its 15th anniversary. With a footprint and fan base rapidly expanding, Swan Hockey is now bringing you behind the scenes. Beyond what you see at games. Beyond the arenas. Beyond the crowds. This is FPHL, Beyond the Glass.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass. I am your host, Eric Swanick, Swan Commander on social media. This is the official podcast of the Federal Prospects Hockey League, and we are in week 10 of the regular season. We're at Christmas. This is probably going to be the last episode before Christmas. We're not going to have one on Christmas Eve, obviously. Probably won't move it to another day. We probably maybe we'll do something else. I don't know. Stay tuned in the Discord or in the Facebook group. And we'll figure out what's going on here in terms of the next episode. But we got a special episode for you today. We are going to first check in with Dave Jackson, go over suspension. He's been pretty suspensions plural, very, very plural. He's been very busy this week with that. And then we're going to sit down with Nick Swain, a forward for the Binghamton Black Bears, who tied a Black Bears record with 4 goals in one game this weekend, including the first goal of the game for their teddy bear toss, which was unbelievable. For anybody that saw the video, it was really something special. So we're going to dive into that with Nick. Let's hit it. What's going on, Dave? How are you?
Eric, how you doing? I'm good. Busy weekend and a busy day yesterday, and more work to do today. We got some further discipline we got to do. We got some appeals. So it's busy today, but we'll get it all done.
Yeah, I know the players are on their best behavior there for a little bit. I think we spoke too soon. Maybe you might need an elf on the shelf for the games. I think maybe we're getting too close to Christmas. Kids are getting antsy. We might need an elf on the shelf in the arenas.
Yeah, I think we could probably use that. You're right. We had pretty good luck for about 2 weekends, and then the gates kind of opened this weekend. So going in real quick, we had a real serious one in Athens versus PD. We had a player get hit from behind into the boards. It was kind of an ugly scene. He was down for 10, 15 minutes while they put him on a strapped him to a stretcher and took him to the hospital. Fortunately, I believe he's going to be okay. There was no serious injury, but obviously, I mean, it was a serious injury. What I meant was, I guess there's no lasting effects. Let's hopefully keep the fingers crossed. He was able to leave with his team and ride the bus home. But it's always scary when you see a guy down on the ice like that. So, referees correctly called a match penalty for boarding with injuries. So typically a first offense for a match penalty, if it's a physical type foul, would be 2 games. And then anytime there's an injury, that actually weighs into it, even if a first-time offender. And I know people will say, well, we should just call the action and not the result. But I mean, it doesn't work that way in society. I mean, if you shoot a gun at somebody and you're charged with attempted murder, it's different than if, you shoot a gun and kill somebody. You're then charged with murder. It's same act, different result. And that's how it's impossible to separate an act on the ice when there is a serious injury and say, well, you can't look at the injury. Well, we do look at the injury, and we're not talking a bloody nose or something like that. But when it's a serious injury and you've got to strap a guy to a backboard and take him to the emergency room, that is a serious injury. So 4 games for that. We had a player elbow to the face Do not believe it was malicious. It was poor angle of attack. Realized the player was spinning. He was going to miss him. It was just a reactionary type play. Fortunately, the player's okay. We had, we had a real funny one. We had a player from a team winning 12-1 who was assessed a misconduct late in the game. Amongst other players, there were multiple misconducts on the play. 2 minutes to go in the game, up by 11 goals, and he felt the need to wave his stick in the referee's face and use a slur.
Nice.
Yeah, and use a slur. He felt the need to use a word that we don't use in this league, referring to intellectually challenged individuals. Dropped a bunch of F-bombs along with it. So that earned him 2 games plus the game for the menacing with the stick. So he's gone for 3 games. I just don't understand it sometimes. Like, you're up by 11 goals. How angry can you be?
Yeah, you should be having some fun, though.
You should be having some fun. But, it is what it is. Maybe, you watch the next 3 games, you'll learn from it. We'll see. We had security issues in one building where the referees need security. And they need to be escorted on and off the ice. And there needs to be a dedicated person in every building walking these officials to and from the ice surface. And when it doesn't happen, bad things happen. And that's what we had happen in one building. Father, son, little 12-year-old had too much to say. It's kind of funny, actually. I mean, you don't picture 12-year-olds with foul mouths, but it's what we had. And we dealt with it. And hopefully in the future, there will be security there to take care of it. Let's see. We had an aggressor. That was unique. That was a goaltender who, during a commercial media timeout, decided he had enough, and he just jumped somebody during a media stoppage. You don't see that very often. Certainly entertaining. For the fans. Certainly made. Unfortunately, it's what makes social media from our league far too often. We don't see enough of the highlight goals. We don't see enough of the really great plays that these players are capable of doing. We see a goaltender jumping a guy during a media timeout, and it's unacceptable. It's an aggressor. He gets a game suspension. And then now we've got footage that's come to light of another lewd gesture. Our league doesn't tolerate. We had a real big problem a few years ago with lewd gestures and slurs, and pretty much zero tolerance for them right now. I mean, flipping the bird, grabbing your genitals, things like that. They're not acceptable. And we have a policy now. First time offense is 2 games. If you do it again, it's 4 games. And the third time, you're gone for a year. And it's non-negotiable. Board of Governors brought that in, and I think it's a great thing for the league. So that's what I'm dealing with. And hopefully in the Christmas spirit this weekend, it'll be a little quieter, but we'll wait and see. Yeah.
No, you definitely have your hands full right now. Let's get into, so we promised everybody last week that we were going to come back to an interesting sequence of events that happened in the National Hockey League that you and I were speaking about privately. Let's dive into that, because that was very interesting.
Sure. That was in Toronto, I believe. And a lot of people were asking me on Twitter about the sequence of events and how it transpired. So what happened was a player got hit in the corner. Defenseman, he had the puck. He was moving the puck out. The forechecker came in, and they went knee to knee. A defenseman went down in obvious pain. No penalty on the call. He stayed down, so the whistle went because of injury. And then one of his teammates went after the player who committed the hit. There was pushing, there was shoving. I believe there was a fight. And then one player for Toronto, so it was a Toronto defenseman that was hurt. One player for Toronto ended up bringing his stick down in a chopping manner, hit the opposing player kind of in the visor off his chest. He was assessed a match penalty. There was no injury on the player, and he was assessed a match penalty. And so a lot of questions here is that they asked me, how is it possible? There was no arms in the air, and they come out of it after review calling 2 penalties. And I thought we were not allowed to call penalties based on review. Well, you're absolutely right. You cannot, in the NHL or even in our league, you cannot call a penalty based on video review. You can only confirm a penalty based on video review. So what they announced was they had a major penalty on the play, and they don't have to say they have 2 or 3. They just say they have a major penalty on the play, and it'll be reviewed. And they came out of it with a major penalty in a game misconduct for kneeing on the original hit, and a match penalty for high sticking for the scrum that happened at center ice. And how I explained it to the general public is the referees got together after all order was restored. The linesman probably said to the referee, "Did you get a good look at that hit in the corner?" He's going to obviously say, "No, I didn't, because if I had, I would have put my arm in the air." And the linesman would say, "Well, I believe it's a major penalty. Stuck his knee out. He got him. He injured him. I believe it's a major penalty." So right there, that opens up the can of worms, or allows the referees to then announce they have a major penalty, and they are going to confirm it. Since they didn't call it, even if they had called it, you still confirm a major penalty. But because they didn't see it, and the referee, the linesman linesman's not calling it. He is giving his version of events, which he's allowed to do, and then it becomes
Right.
up to the referees whether they are going to call it or not. I know it sounds like semantics, but the linesman cannot call a major penalty per se. He cannot say it's definitely a major penalty, and the referees look at it on video and say, "We don't believe so," and the linesman say, "Well, I'm still calling it." That doesn't work that way. Linesman can
Right. But the
report.
linesman could start the chain of events on a
That's right. The
major.
linesman can report what he believes to be a missed major penalty. Then the referees will look at it and either decide to assess a major, or assess 2 minutes, or assess nothing at all. So
Yeah.
that's what they had there. As far as the match at center ice goes, that wasn't determined based on video. The referee standing at center ice, he reacted. I saw him. He pointed right at the time. So that was probably the original major match penalty they were going to review. And then they went to the box and talked. The linesman told them, "Hey, you better check the kneeing penalty as well." So, and
Makes
both calls
sense.
were right. The only dispute I have from some fans was the kneeing penalty was more severe because it resulted in an injury, and he only got a game misconduct, whereas the player at center ice, what he did was wrong, but he gets a match penalty and there's no injury. And why is that? And I had to explain to people that the rule for high sticking is you can get 2 minutes, you can get 4 minutes if there's blood or an injury. There's no major penalty. It goes right to match penalty after that. So that's the only options the referee have. A 2-minute minor for high sticking and a 4-minute minor for high sticking are essentially the same thing. They're both considered accidental high sticks. One draws blood, one doesn't, but both of them are accidental. If the referee
Right.
determines a high stick to be intentional, he goes right to match penalty. There's no option of going 2 or 4 when it's an intentional high stick to the head. So he gave him a match penalty, and I don't believe he got suspended. I think he got fined. So that's how it works. But for the fans who are going, "Well, a match is too severe, he didn't deserve a match," that was really the only option the referees had.
Yep. Makes sense. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Kind of goes back to what we were talking about last week, where you said that you guys implemented a new rule in the FPHL rule book to kind of give the referee more freedom of use of the tools.
correct.
Yep.
Correct.
So
But in this one, I like how they don't have more freedom, because honestly, what's the difference between a 5-minute major and a match penalty? How do you determine, well, it was intentional, but it wasn't totally intentional, I'm going to give them a game, or I'm going to give them a match? Like, it's kind of redundant. So let's just make it simple. If it's accidental, it's 2 or 4. If it's intentional, it's a match penalty. Simple.
right. Yeah. So
And
you're
then let
saying in this case,
and then
those
let
are all the tools needed.
player safety deal with it.
Yep. Awesome.
Yep.
Well, no, yeah, great explanation. Hope everybody at home got that. Yeah, because kind of stuff that a lot of people don't you don't see it too often. So a lot of
You
people
don't.
might not understand what's going on. So awesome insight there. Um, Dave, thank you very much, and have a very Merry Christmas.
You as well. I'm not going to see you next week. I'm traveling. If anybody wants to watch ESPN hockey next Tuesday, I'll be live from Minnesota, Nashville.
Awesome.
It's a
Awesome.
rare opportunity. I get to travel. I'm on my way home for Christmas, back to see family in Montreal. So I'm going to be live, Minnesota right now. Big trade made, and we got all the action for you. ESPN.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Sounds good. Dave, you know what? Repeat that one more time. I think it cut out. It could be just in my ears, but just in case people missed it.
The game information next Tuesday night. the 23rd, Nashville and Minnesota, and it's gonna be good hockey.
Yep. Awesome. Sounds great, Dave. Merry Christmas, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, Eric. Take care.
All right. Thanks, Dave. Hey guys, our new merch drop is live now on SH360. Visit 360.swanhockey.com and you can access it now. Once an item is gone, it may never return. You can also check the time capsule for older items. All SH360 purchases have season pass points attached. Just make sure that you use the same email address on SH360 as you do for Swan Hockey Digital. For more information or help with season pass, join the Discord. Nick, what's going on, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. How you doing?
Doing good. Freezing. We have like our coldest week of the year. I don't know what, I mean, I probably shouldn't be complaining because you're in Binghamton. It's probably a lot colder there, but we're like 19 degrees last night. Something like that.
We're around the same. It's like right now currently like 12, 10.
Yeah, I tried not going outside. But like I said, I know I shouldn't be complaining, but I think we're gonna hit 50 next week, so we'll defrost a little bit here.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Not probably in Binghamton, but
what is that?
Probably not for us in Binghamton, but we'll see. Hopefully.
Yeah, but all right. Well, let's get into it. You tie Binghamton Black Bears record, 4 goals in 1 game. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, it felt pretty cool. I mean, the first goal was the teddy bear toss goal this weekend, which was pretty cool to see. I mean, we had a huge turnout for that. I think the total just came out today, which was like 6,100.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like I've never experienced anything like that, so that was really cool to see. I mean, all the fans in Binghamton, that's really one of the things that's awesome about the team itself, is that the fans are so involved and the community is really built around the team as well. And, you know, it's always nice to see that we could also give back too.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's got to be one. Where does that rank on like most memorable goals you've scored all time, like your whole career? Like that's got to be, like, I obviously saw the video. Like that just looked like a once in a lifetime sick experience for you.
That honestly might be number one, and then just having the 4 on top of it also helps. Like first career hat trick, 2 pro hat trick. Yeah. So I think that'll be the cherry on top for a while.
Yeah, no, it's 6. I couldn't believe, like, obviously, you know, I've seen, you know, 1,000 teddy bear tosses, but it just looked like you said 6,100 bears. That's a lot. And fans, let us know, like, is there a sense of relief, like, once everybody gets rid of their bear and you're not sitting in the crowd with 6,100 teddy bears? Like, because that's also got to be like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, some of those bears are pretty big.
Oh, they're massive. There was one that Kirkby and Stubbs hold up. There was 2 of them holding it, and still it was like needed more people.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, those two were gigantic. Like they needed their own seats.
Yeah.
They did. I think I saw I think it was Binghamton. It may have been another building somewhere, but I thought somebody posted a picture of the 2 bears like in their own seats. Like they're big bears.
Yeah. I mean, they do a good job with it, and you know, it's great to see that everyone could have fun doing it as well for a good cause. Yeah,
absolutely. How long was the cleanup?
I think it was like 10 to 15 minutes, honestly.
That's crazy, because it's like all hands on deck, right? Like you guys are obviously helping clean up. It's not just, you know, building staff.
Right. Yeah, we were helping out as much as we can, just filling it up with garbage bags and, you know, getting them ready for like the hospitals and charities.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, it's great to see, like, you know, it's great to see the team doing it. It's great to see the fans show up, and you know, because ultimately you can't be done without the fans.
Yeah, completely agree.
You know, so yeah, it's really cool. So last week Tyler Jurich was on, all-time leading goal scorer in the FPHL, and we were talking. I'm hoping you can answer this. When he was in Binghamton, they did a promotion where if the Black Bears scored 4 goals in 1 game, everybody got free cheeseburgers at Burger King, which always reminds me of semi-pro with the corn dogs, Jackie, for all these people. Does that still happen? We were trying to figure it out last week.
Yeah, it's I believe it's the 5th goal. So
They upped it.
yeah. And the inflation now. But yeah, I believe it's the 5th goal. Anytime we get 5 goals, it's the free Whopper from Burger King or Burger.
Okay, yeah, because I remember that first season, like, so I don't know if you remember. I know you're probably in college at the time. That first season in Binghamton for the Black Bears, the number was set at 4, and they probably hit 4 like 3/4 of the game. Like that team that year was built on offense. Like they were, 6'5", like that. Like their plan was outscore the other team, and it was just every night. It was cheeseburger night in Binghamton, which which I guess Burger King's probably. I mean, probably the math probably works out, or Burger King wouldn't do it. But I just remember every game, cheeseburger goal. So yeah, Tyler and I were trying to figure that out last week if that was still a thing in Binghamton. We assumed it was, but we weren't 100% sure.
Yeah, it still goes on. I see it on the Jumbotron and stuff, so it's pretty cool to see that we could carry on a tradition like that for the fans.
Yeah. They got to come up with something. So 5 would be a record. They got to come up with something else now. If somebody hits 5, personally, like, so you and a couple, how many other guys hit 4?
I think 2 or 3 others.
2 or 3, right? Like, so 5's a big individual marker now. Burger King's got to come up with something for if the same player hits 5.
Yeah, double down.
It's gotta be something.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But yeah, everybody should start wearing the crowns to the game. Whopper night. But yeah, so walk us through life in Binghamton as on the on a player side. So you're one of the first players we've had on the show. Not the first. Schultz was on in Watertown. I'm trying to think if any other players have been on. Like Jurich obviously retired. You might be the first active player on the show. So let's get your point of view of what is it? We've heard from the coaches, we've heard from GMs of what their day-to-day is like and everything. We actually had a broadcaster on a couple weeks back. What's it like for you, the player?
I mean, there's really 0 complaints about being in Binghamton. I mean, the only thing you could really, if you want to nitpick, would be the weather, but you have no control. But I mean, entering the rink every day, it's like that professional feel. The locker room is sick. We have the old AHL Binghamton Senators rink, that we really branded to our own as the Binghamton Black Bears. And I mean, you could get a workout anytime at the rink you want. We have a steam room / sauna. We have a little lounge area for the players. It's very nice. All the guys hang around, grab coffee, some breakfast. So, I mean, as a player, it's nothing that I've really ever experienced. So I'm pretty grateful to be able to walk through the doors every morning and be like, wow, like I get to suit up in this locker room and play hockey right now.
Yeah.
And then, all the work you do with the week. Like I know Sherwood and Q, our coaches, they do a great job with the practice plan. And then, just the video letting us know what's going on with each team every week. They do a lot of preparing and it's very professional, I'd say. Nothing like I've ever experienced before where you show up and like, you have a job to do. And it's also like you want to be there. You want to play hockey for this team. Guys that leave or something happens, they're clearly upset because they don't want to leave this spot. It's pretty rare to have a place where everyone wants to be here and everyone knows that, this is the spot to be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's a really cool operation in Binghamton. I mean, I was up there for the inaugural season. I took a trip up and, I've seen the locker room. We've talked about it on the show before. Like it's sick. Like, and I don't think people understand how much work goes into being a professional athlete. And, I joke around, I say it's kind of like the only job in the world where you don't get paid to do the work, right? You get paid based on how the game goes, right? Like, you work your ass off all week. If you have a bad game, everyone's pissed off, right? Like but yeah, like just in terms of like the amount of work that you guys put in on the ice, systems, video breakdown, all that goes into, the fans see the final product, right? The fans don't see everything that goes on, behind the scenes. Like, I think it's really cool for them to hear about, in terms of what you guys are doing, in terms of, taking care of your bodies and rehab and steam and, all that stuff. And like I said, the video. What was the biggest adjustment for you coming out of college hockey now to here?
I think just structure, honestly, like coming into something where it's like, college, you're a little more free to play how you want. Kind of, if you make a mistake, it's okay if you don't really make up for it. But if you make a mistake, you better be working, your bag off to get that puck back, or, just it's more serious, and it's more like, I guess, just professional the way it is. Like, you go to the rink, that's your job. When you're at college, it's like you're going to practice. Sometimes you're like, oh, I don't really know if I'm in the mood to practice. Here, you're like, okay, let's go. Let's have a good day. Let's get better today at practice, and the coaches are really involved in that as well. Like, they're there to make you better each day. We have extra time too after practice at ice that, they always offer. If we need help with anything, they'll do whatever they want for us as players. So that was cool to see. And yeah, I think just getting into that system where it's every day you need to show up and, get better.
Yeah, for sure. And you mentioned, before mentioning that, that Binghamton's a place that everybody wants to be, right? So, and we've talked about on this show before how Binghamton is the team that everybody wants to play, that everybody wants to beat, right? But now, as you mentioned, it's a place that everybody also wants to play for, right? So I'm going to ask you two questions here. We'll start with, what's the dynamic like in the locker room for a player in terms of knowing that everybody wants to be there? And like you said, that accountability, you make a mistake, you make up for it, right? What's that line like in the locker room for guys in terms of being, not putting pressure on themselves, because it is a spot that everybody wants to be, right? There's a line out the door that wants to play for Binghamton, right? So how do you manage, like, how are guys managing that pressure of, not letting it become pressure of, I don't want to lose my job in Binghamton. Like, it's there's a lot of people that want my job, right? Obviously there's a fine line there, right? What do you guys do every day to stay on the positive side of that line and not feel pressure, but feel confident, but also know that, hey, the accountability is extremely high?
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to feel that, like, what if pressure if you're in that situation. But I mean, everyone in the locker room, you just, like, we're a mini family, everyone comes from a different place, but we have a lot of returners. So it's like, when you have the support and, let's call it, family style within the locker room, it's like, if anyone's feeling down, there's always a guy to pick you up, whether, however you're feeling. If it's about hockey, if it's not about hockey, there's always somebody in the room that's, going to pick you up. And then at the end of the day, it really just comes down to performance. And, a lot of times we do perform, and, our top guys have done a really great job this year. So it's, maybe that also helps with a little bit of the pressure as well. It's like, hey, we're doing our job. We know we're doing our best, and we're showing up every day. And, the coaches also reassure us with that. When we do good, they give us the pat on the back, and they let us know. And then if you mess up, they'll hold us accountable. But, it's human nature to mess up sometimes. And, they understand that. And they give us the reins to fix it ourselves. You know what I mean? So if you're messing up multiple times, like, and they're still in your ear and you're not changing, then it's not, maybe some things happen for a reason, and it could be on you.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And just the accountability. And then the second part to the second question I wanted to ask you, and I think I asked Brant this. So every team, or a lot of teams, when we did the team episodes over the summer for this show, so many people were looking forward to playing Binghamton the most, and they had Binghamton circled on their calendar. What's the dynamic like in the locker room in terms of not letting that get to you guys, but also, like, are you guys viewing that as, all right, man, everyone's gunning for us, like, again, maybe a little bit of pressure, or are you viewing it as, haha, we haven't even played them yet when we're in these guys' heads, like, this is awesome, like, let's go take it to them now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I know since, they're circling us on their calendars, we have to show up every game. Sometimes, if they beat us, it's like they're celebrating like it's their Stanley Cup game. So we make sure we take pride in not losing twice, because it's okay sometimes to lose. Obviously, you want to limit it, but because you learn from every loss, and everyone in the locker room feels it, because we like that feeling of winning. But I think the biggest thing is, like, under pressure, our guys, they create diamonds. Our guys like the pressure if need be. They show up when it comes.
Yeah.
We had our goalie last year, Connor McNamara, showed up during playoffs. He was the MVP. Multiple times in playoffs, we have our top guys showing up and, shining during those lights, so when there's pressure, sometimes it even enhances the way our guys play. So,
yeah, because you guys got to be dialed. Like, there's a lot of expectations from you guys every night, right? Like, from the coaching staff, from other teams, right? Every team, and this is another thing we mentioned with Brandt, is like every team is bringing their best, right? Nobody's taking a night off against you guys. Right. So it's a tough, every game is a battle, because everybody's always bringing their best. You got to play everybody's best every night. And then obviously the fan base is, probably spoiled in Binghamton at this point. A lot of winning, a lot of success, a lot of great times. So the fan base, obviously, the demands are probably high from the fan base as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, bringing your best is always a good thing, because, later down the road, when it comes time for playoffs, you're playing your best hockey by then. In the regular season, you play your best every game, but eventually after 56 games, you're going to get better with your team, with your systems developing overall. I think that it's just what we do, and just like with the fans and everything, it's unreal. They expect us to win at home, and they bring the energy when we score and when we fight, so they give us a boost as well. So it's kind of like a revolving circle, everyone doing their job.
Yeah, and everything just kind of feeds off of each other. And what's been the most fun for you out of your journey so far in Binghamton and in the league?
Besides the teddy bear toss goal, or
yeah, just like, day to day, like what's been the best part?
I mean, just showing up to the rink for practice with the guys is really the best. It's like you go to the rink, you're only on the ice for hour and a half during the times. Like, everyone's taking it serious, but you're also loose, joking around a little bit. So it's like spending the time with the guys. Like I said, I feel like everyone's a close-knit family almost. So it when you enjoy going to the rink, it just makes it that much better, cracking jokes around the room and everything. So
yeah, absolutely. And for you guys listening at home, you'll find that that's a common answer. And I think, like, even a lot of people, like, when they're done playing, they say that that's what they miss the most is, not necessarily the game itself, but the locker room family. Yeah, no, it's really cool. Anything that you want to end off with? Anything you want to say to the fans, to anybody?
Yeah, I mean, just thank you to all the fans. Thank you to, my coaches Sherwood and Q, and Andreas, the owner, for the opportunity to, suit up in the Black Bear uniform and be able to play after college. Not a lot of players get to do that. So, I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty grateful to be able to suit up and, the opportunity to have. So,
yeah, no, awesome. Well, Nick, thanks a lot for doing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, yeah, of course. I will talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
See ya. And that's going to do it for this episode. Don't forget, the conversation continues inside the Swan Hockey Discord server. We've streamlined that experience for you guys. Also, a couple neutral site games have been announced between the Topeka Scarecrows and the Indiana Sentinels. They will be played in Thief River Falls, Minnesota. It's 2 games originally scheduled to be played in Indiana. They will now be neutral site in Thief River Falls. So that's really exciting. You can learn more at the FPHL website. And yeah, until next time, everyone have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you soon.
Thank you for being the best part of this episode of FPHL Beyond the Glass by Swan Hockey. We will see you soon.